Welcome to this episode of Vibe Gardening Informal Edition, where we're going to talk about how to pot our marigold in a variety of ways for outdoors. With marigold planting, what I'm doing here is I'm going to be planting them in both these 5-gallon buckets, and I'm going to be drilling holes in them to make sure they get drainage, and then be putting potting soil in here, and then letting them grow outside of my raised beds because I don't have room for them anymore. And this will give me a way to still give them the companion plant needed, but yet not take up all the resource that these African crackerjack marigold will be taking, because these things will sprawl pretty big, about at least a foot each way, and then it's going to be growing about 2 to 3 foot tall. Those are pretty big, and the flowers that we're producing is about a good 4-inch wide, and that is pretty big. So either way, what we're going to do here is we're going to get started on preparing this first, and then we're going to be putting them into grow bags and be able to disperse them further. As you can see with these Menard buckets, you only get an inner ring and 2 guides on the side. So this is going to have to be basically going to have to eyeball it. What I have here is a drill, and I'm using about 3/8 inch drill bits. And that's going to be big enough to be able to give drainage, but then you want to at least 8 on the bottom and 4 on the side to give it enough drainage. So here we go. Let's start drilling some holes. So you can see here, we have basically drilled, I would say, approximately 8 holes on perimeter with 1 in the middle. And what we can do now is that we're going to drill 4 on the side to make sure that they can start draining out. And there you have it. You should have now enough drainage to be able to not allow too soggy of the soil for potting up the marigolds. Now the next step we're going to do is we're going to just put some potting soil in here. That's some Miracle-Gro Organic Choice potting soil with compost. I think this will be a great start to be able to give the plants some long-term nutrition. Now, based on my research, this should be a good enough amount of soil to start with. But you don't want to go all the way to the top, because that really would essentially give you no room to put mulch. And also when you water or do anything, it's going to just essentially let the water run to the side, and that really is just not an ideal situation for having a potted plant in here. Now for these marigolds, one thing I like is to use these transparent pots. As you can see, I've already potted some of these up already, like these empty trays here, but I still have quite a bit here that I have not potted yet. And due to the unpredictable weather and the ability to be able to get my other resources, these plants actually have been quite root bounded, quite a bit of them, and they've been waiting to pot up for quite a while now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see which one is probably the most root bound and need transplanting the most. I can see with this one's probably the most advanced. Pretty much all of them by this point are extremely root bound. Like this one, for instance, we can see that it is quite advanced in rooting here. But from the top view, it seems like this one here is probably the healthiest. So I am going to pick this one for transplanting right now. The one thing I like about these pots is that they have a little popper down here that you can basically pop right through. As you can see, there's a bunch of roots already coming through. It's quite root bound. So what I can do here is I can just gently press a little bit. These soil have already been pre-moistened with a couple of days of rain, so I don't have to worry about moistening them again. So once I pop it, like so, it comes right out, like so. And this one, I was able to plant it without the bottom silicone that these other ones have, because I lost in the past. So I don't have to really worry about it. So Now that I have taken out this plug here, what I can do is I can basically essentially kind of just fray the edges, make the root become not so bound. This is going to help it basically reach out right away and fluff the side a little bit, right? So once we do that, we can basically dig in here and give it a nice little transplant. Make sure everything here is a little bit loosened, not so compact. And there, I think we have a nice little cozy home now. Center a little more, because why not? There we go. And there we have it. We have basically the first one is new home. And of course, the other main component of transplant is we don't want to be done until we properly water the soil after transplanting. Now that little baby is going to get itself a nice success right in the beginning with a little hydration. Another key component of being able to plant things successfully is to have mulch on top. My favorite is cedar. It's very aromatic. It's anti-mildew and mold, and it also repels insects and potentially other plants that might want to grow on it. So I always choose cedar, and the benefit of having mulch is you can get yourself a nice moisture control as well as weed suppressant. Now that right there, the marigold ready for success. So now that we have planted all the marigolds into the 5-gallon pots, we essentially really have quite a bit left, as you can see here. I got, I don't know, still about over 10 that I have left. And I really don't have all that much soil left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant them in these 3-gallon grow bags. As you can see, they're significantly smaller. And so these I got it from Amazon, and they were quite cheap. And I'm not going to put the link up. I mean, they're like about $1 or less or something like that for each. And as you can see, it's really significantly a sizable downgrade in size. I have no idea if this is going to be a long-term solution, if it's going to work for the marigold, but in time being, it's going to be able to buy me time so that I can acquire more 5-gallon buckets or get myself 5-gallon grow bags. We'll see how that works out. So, well, here goes nothing. So here we are. These are the 3 marigold that I planted here. I planted about 6 in total for the grow bags. So now keep in mind I had 3 in 5-gallon buckets and these 6 in grow bags. I don't know how they're going to turn out. One thing for sure is that they're probably going to run out of space soon. And the other problem is that I'm going to have to water them more frequently. And they might even outgrow them. I don't know. But at a minimum, it's going to buy me time to be able to get the next step up, which is the 5-gallon, which is what it really needs. So I also ran out of soil, so I stopped here. And so yeah, here are the marigolds. So yeah, after all that, I think there's some things I have not really covered. One of the main things is that when I was transplanting, I had to make sure that I unwind the roots that were root bound. There's a lot of circling on the bottom of each one of those pods, and that was very important for me to completely unravel so that the root has a chance to kind of go down. Another thing that was very important was that I used transparent pods for the planting. That way I can get a basically window view into the roots, which is something that before plastic and glass really can't do that. And that was a huge deal for me, and I absolutely love that. And finally, when everything was placed, the main thing that I want to do is really not only just for decoration, but I want to make sure that they'll be next to plants in my raised beds that don't have marigold near it. Because in my in-ground bed, there are already marigolds all over. And I have to make sure that they're in place. And the 5-gallon buckets are a little bit heavier, a little harder to move around. But the 3-gallon grow bags are actually quite light. I would say they're probably only like 10 or 15 pounds, and extremely easy to basically transport around. So that is giving me a great advantage in that when those things get big, I'm guessing they cannot get more than 2 foot tall in those 3-gallon bags. when they actually need to be moved around, it will be actually quite easy. Granted, I kind of got to move my head around a little bit so that it doesn't really beat me up, so to speak. So with that said, this is how I handle marigold in my garden. And in later episodes, I'll show you how I have them in my in-ground bed. But right now, here's a wrap for this episode. See you in the comment section. See you guys.